we've got ourselves another Ficus Microcarpa. Might be kind of hard to see because of how full it is, but this is actually two different trees. The reason why they're in the same pot is that they were actually all one clump, and unfortunately I'm not going to have a whole lot of pictures from the past because this was one clump, and as I was just kind of watching it develop and everything, it was really just kind of going downhill and looked like it was falling apart, thought I was going to have to throw it away. And then one day I just kind of got in there and investigated, tried to figure out what the problem was, and sure enough, the middle was rotting out, and it was all these smaller trunks kind of put together and fused, and with all kinds of crazy aerial roots in there and everything, and just the middle part rotted away. And so I pulled it out, separated it, and then just at that point in time, once I realized that it was rotting and I had to pull the middle piece out, I really didn't have appropriate pots for either one of them. So I just had to kind of put them back into the same one. And I did not have any pictures from then, but I just kind of let them regain some health. And like obviously at this point now, you can see they're here, they're healthy again and everything. I have cut them back pretty hard once. And I'm going to do pretty much the same thing today. I'm trying to leave some of the growth on the bottom simply because there's not a whole lot of taper. But I kind of do want to save what I've got. I mean, I could chop it off and start again, but I do have some ramification kind of building up on the top and everything. So I'm going to try to save that and just try to leave the bottom the way they are. And then here, when it recovers in another month or so, I think I'm going to pick one and put it in its own pot and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead on in. I'm definitely going to time lapse this. This is going to take a long time. But once I get in here too, it'll kind of give me a good idea. And actually, maybe by the time I'm done, you guys can let me know which one you think I should take out. Whichever one I leave in, I'm definitely going to just let the base go some more. And then the other one, I'll probably go ahead and try to keep it a little bit cleaner in whatever kind of a new pot I put it in or whatever. But anyway, here we go. Alright, and sorry about that. I didn't realize how dark it was getting there towards the end. But as you can see, got plenty of ramification in the apex. Both of them looking pretty good. And you can also see down below, I did not defoliate down below. You know, I get more interaction from the people that watch my TikToks than watch the YouTube videos, but people watch the TikTok videos keep asking, why do I take all the leaves off? It is really kind of weird how we take the leaves off to provide more ramification, but then we leave leaves on to keep it healthy. But you can see I left all the leaves on the bottom there, and that's just to keep the health at the bottom of the tree. Create a little taper there by keeping the bottom with a little more thickness to it. But I do think, like you can see here, got some aerial roots going on that one. They'll probably burn up now that I've taken all the shade away. I think shade, there's a lot of factors that go into aerial roots, but I think shade is one of them. I think they like the shade. But that's how I'm going to leave it today. The light is getting a little low in here, but this is one of the pieces that was dead when I split the two apart. But it's in there, and I couldn't really get it out. I didn't feel like without affecting these guys' health. Now I probably could. I was kind of hoping that they would grow around it and kind of reject it. Ficus have a way of kind of just taking the dead wood and kind of growing around it and getting rid of it. I decided not to try to cut it off anymore, and I think that here in a few months, when I do try to pick one to repot, I think I'm going to pick this one, even though this one's a little more ready for its own pot in that it's already got some trunk flare. I don't really know how well you guys can see it's in there since I let it get so dark while I was working, but got some aerial roots working in there too. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, there's some aerial roots coming out in there. I do think they both have really good, a lot of potential for a couple good trees. But like I said, I think I'm going to pick this one out to repot just so I can see what's going on with there. I might wind up with two different trees. And you can see what I'm talking about here. Like all of these are just straight with no taper. This one's straight with no taper, but then the clump starts here. So that's why I think this one's going to be a better tree quicker than this one. But I would like to go ahead and repot this one first just so I can see what's going on with this dead piece. And I'll leave the other one in there. But when you leave all the leaves like that, or when you leave the leaves on this where I cut it off, you can see that I don't think I ever pruned that one before. I did prune the end. Maybe shouldn't have, just to kind of keep the momentum going, but this will pick up speed quicker than up here. When you defoliate it, it actually does weaken the tree. So up here, the idea is I'm going to weaken the apex, and then down here, all this will start to grow much quicker. And we'll see what happens. Look forward to updating you. Like the video.